All right. You ready?
How much am I getting paid?
Nothing. I have a guest today. This is my husband, Jeff, and I'm going to ask him to get as animated as he was when he came home the other day, because what his experience illustrated perfectly was how customer experience drives business. It's a great illustration. So, can you please pretend, and thank you for coming on.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that I'll be able to recreate that amount of energy, but...
Oh, get excited!
It's not my normal gig.
All right. Well, to set the scene, it's a Saturday. It was a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to name names of the business because we live in a small community and people will get it. So we're going to try to be as anonymous as we can, because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was project mode, a beautiful weekend, and he came back he had to go get he had a project he was hell-bent to election, bound and determined to do that day, and had to go get some parts. Mm-hmm. Chose to go to a place that was a lot farther away from our home, and came back and told me this. What happened when you drove in?
Well, I drove into the business, and there was a worker on a forklift offloading some material from a truck. And I don't know if that was product being returned or a delivery truck or whatever, but they saw me and realized they were blocking my path. So they immediately, hold up, we'll get out of the way. And so he jumped on his forklift and got out of the way. And I think they were just seconds away from being able to unload it anyway. And I was perfectly happy to wait, but it was impressive that, they're aware of their surroundings, and they were, being very attentive to customers. And so they pulled out of the way. I pulled in my parking spot and went on into the business.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. He would have waited. He's a patient man. He's married to me. So you went in, and
I went in, and there was a little bit of music playing. I think it was Elton John, if I recall. But and there was a customer at the desk. This place doesn't have like a big customer service area, a big checkout area, but there was a customer at the desk and a gentleman helping the customer, and they were obviously near the end of the transaction. Receipts were being handed, and there was a little, I could tell, friendly banter going back and forth. But when I walked in, the gentleman behind the counter looked right at me and said, "Hey, I'll be right with you. Just let me close this guy out, and we'll get you taken care of." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." I hadn't been in the building 5 seconds yet, but they right away acknowledged that I was there, and just saying, "We'll be right with you." They finished the transaction, and I'm assuming a joke was being told because there was a fair amount of laughter after the receipt was handed. The previous customer left. I stepped up and explained what it was I was looking for, and the gentleman, was super engaged with me. He was like, "Okay, no problem. I think I know what you're looking for. Take a walk with me." So we go walking down a couple of the aisles, and he goes to find the stuff. And he gets me hooked up right away. But while I'm in pursuit of this guy, because he's off, he knows where he's going, and he's on a mission. While I'm in pursuit of him, I can hear in my back stock room or one of the alternate rooms, I assume another worker, apparently having a pretty decent day, because he was singing to this song like the classic line, like "sing like nobody's listening" or whatever. And he wasn't the best singer, better than I am for sure, but he was getting into it, and he was obviously having a good time that day working there and enjoying it, and it was a really good atmosphere to walk into. So he got me hooked up, and we made the transaction, and then off and going. One of the things that I had taken with me, because not knowing totally what I needed, I had a video of somebody that did the installation for me, and as I played this installation for the video for the guy to help him help me, because I didn't even know what this part or series of parts were called, but as the video's playing, he's like, "Oh, that's Tom," and so it was even more comical that he knew who actually was the voice that was on the video, because the video was not of a person; it was just a voice of a video of the thing I was trying to fix. So it was pretty funny. It was,
He recognized,
yeah,
the voice of God.
Yes. Oh, that's Tom.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, it
it's
was
funny.
fun.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah, it was good. And off on my way, I spent far more time driving there than I did getting anything. So yeah.
It was very impressive. Mm-hmm. It's very impressive for lots of reasons. I should have asked you I almost interrupted you earlier and said, how did that make you feel? When he looked at you directly, he was talking to someone, and then he looked at you directly right away and said, I'll be right with you. I should have interjected and said, and how did that make you feel?
Well,
how did it make you feel?
Well, it made me feel like they were glad that I was there. They wanted my business.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
This was such a phenomenal example of how creating a culture in a workplace that's based on service and serving the customer translates in real life to how that actually feels. So Jeff came back. He was a little perturbed when he left. He was a little bit lit, a little bit perturbed when he left. And he came back. I was super excited because he came back very happy. It changed the trajectory of his day, which is great. That is the power that a small business has, not only on the financial success of the business, because Jeff will go there, I will too, we'll go there even though there's places that are much closer to our home that are much more convenient, but we will drive the extra mile because of that experience. So that translates to dollars.
Yeah.
And it also translates to, it shows the influence of the financial success of the business and also the trajectory of the customer's day. Because that little act, those little series of acts of making him feel like he's important and valued, and it elevated his mood. And that catapults throughout his day. It came back, it hit me in a good way, which in turn hits other people. And he had no road rage on the way home either. So I'm sure it hit people good that way. So I love that example. So that's what I wanted you to share. Thanks for sharing it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes.
And it was very apparent that the atmosphere in that in that store is, I gather that's probably like that most days. We all have our times, but
sure.
From a couple of the other stock people that were in the various aisleways, everybody looked at you. They all seemed to be, pretty jovial characters.
Yeah.
And, it's a Saturday, they're working. So, it's certainly could have been, like, oh boy, here's this other guy walking in here. He's going to spend all of, I think I spent $3.60, so it wasn't like I was their, $1 million customer for the weekend, but they didn't seem to care whether I spent, $3.60 or $3,000. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that everybody else said hello to you. It wasn't like
not everybody greeted me,
or
but
looked at you.
You could tell they acknowledged you. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
It drives me bananas when I'm somewhere and in a store.
Yeah.
And people are avoiding me, particularly in our grocery store, and people are avoiding my eye contact. I almost want to jump out and go, boo, just to like, oh my gosh, I'm a person. I'm right here. Just like, I'm not asking you for a date. Just like, look at me. So that's good to know that they did that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was well done.
Yeah. So takeaways. That is an example of how you create a company culture that drives business growth and really affects the community in a positive way. So Thanks, honey, for joining me.
You bet.
If this goes viral, I'll have to have you on again.
Well, I want my cut.
Okay.
Yeah, royalties.
Checks in the mail.
Royalties.
Checks in the mail, baby. Well, oh yeah.
So I can just get it out of the mailbox.
Yeah, it's probably there. I bet it's there for you.
Okay.
Remember, we're married. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. Wait, no. How did I say that? What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine.
Usually, yes.
Thanks for joining me.
You bet.
All right. That was awesome. Oops, if I can stop it. Hello? Oh, it's on weirdness. It won't stop. My phone's freaking out. Oh, what's going on? What is going on, Tech Man? Why won't my phone stop?
I don't know. Can you move the little ghost thing that
Let me try my ghost thing.